Sarah Chen had worked as a groundskeeper at Forest Lawn Memorial Park for 15 years, but she'd never experienced anything like this morning. The earth near Michael Jackson's mausoleum had collapsed overnight, creating a 3-foot crater that exposed something metallic gleaming in the darkness below. Her hands trembled as she radioed security, her voice barely steady. Within hours, the site was sealed off with yellow tape, and a team of structural engineers arrived with flashlights and measuring equipment. The lead engineer, Marcus Webb, descended into the hole first. His headlamp cut through the blackness, revealing smooth concrete walls that definitely weren't part of the original construction. This wasn't a natural sinkhole or drainage failure. Someone had built this deliberately. The air smelled stale, untouched for years, maybe decades. Marcus's boots hit solid ground 12 feet down, and he found himself standing before a heavy steel door with no handle, no keyhole, just a numerical keypad covered in dust. Sarah joined him below, her curiosity overwhelming her fear. The door looked military-grade, completely out of place in a cemetery. Marcus wiped the keypad clean, and they noticed something etched into the metal above it. A tiny dancing figure, unmistakably Jackson's signature pose. This wasn't some random bunker. This was connected to the king of pop himself. But why would there be a sealed room beneath his grave? Who built it? And when? Marcus pulled out his phone to call his supervisor, but there was no signal down here. They were alone with this mystery, standing at the threshold of something that was never meant to be found. The decision to open the door didn't come easily. Marcus and Sarah waited topside while lawyers, estate representatives, and cemetery officials argued for 2 days straight. Finally, Michael Jackson's estate authorized the entry, sending their own security team to witness whatever lay beyond that steel barrier. A forensic locksmith named David Reeves was brought in from downtown Los Angeles, a man who cracked safes for the FBI and opened time capsules for museums. David studied the keypad with intense focus, running his fingers across each button, feeling for where patterns. 3 numbers showed more use than the others, 2, 5, and 9. He explained that people often use significant dates for codes, and something clicked in Sarah's memory. She'd been a massive Jackson fan her whole life. August 29th was his birthday. David entered 0829. Nothing. He tried 2908. The keypad beeped twice and went dead. One attempt remained before potential lockout. The air grew thick with tension as David closed his eyes, thinking. Then Sarah whispered something that made everyone freeze. June 25th, the date Jackson died. David's fingers moved slowly, pressing 065. The keypad glowed green, and mechanical locks groaned after years of silence. The door swung inward with a hiss of equalized pressure, revealing a corridor lit by emergency lights that somehow still functioned. The group exchanged glances, and Marcus stepped forward first, his flashlight beam dancing across walls covered in gold and platinum records. They weren't just any records. Every single one bore Michael Jackson's name, but these weren't the awards the public knew about. These were demos, unreleased tracks, recordings that had never seen daylight. The corridors stretched 30 feet before opening into a larger chamber, and what they found there would change music history forever. The room beyond the corridor took everyone's breath away. It was a perfect rectangle, roughly 20 by 30 feet, with climate-controlled glass cases lining every wall. Inside those cases sat hundreds of items that belonged in a museum. There were handwritten lyrics to songs that had defined generations, covered in Michael's distinctive scroll with crossed-out words and margin notes. Original choreography sketches showed stick figures in poses that became legendary dance moves. But what dominated the center of the room made the estate representatives gasp audibly. A recording studio sat perfectly preserved, as if waiting for its creator to return. The mixing board was a vintage model from the 80s, the kind Jackson had used for Thriller. Reels of tape were stacked in labeled boxes, each one numbered and dated. Marcus carefully lifted one label to read it. Dangerous Sessions, Alternative Takes, 1990. Another read Unreleased Ballads, 1995 to 2003. There were dozens of them, perhaps hundreds of hours of music that fans had never heard. But this wasn't just an archive of the past. A modern hard drive sat connected to a digital converter, suggesting someone had been down here recently, long after Jackson's death in 2009. Sarah noticed a leather journal on a small desk beside the recording equipment. She opened it carefully, and Jackson's handwriting filled the pages. The entries were dated, starting from 1985 and continuing sporadically through 2009, just weeks before he died. Her voice shook as she read aloud. "They'll never understand why I need this place. Up there, everyone wants something from me. Down here, it's just the music and the silence. This is where I keep what's real." The journal revealed that Jackson had built this room in 1984, right after the Thriller phenomenon made privacy impossible. Only 2 people had ever known about it: his personal attorney and the contractor who built it, both sworn to secrecy with ironclad agreements. The room was his sanctuary, his escape from fame's crushing weight. As the team carefully documented everything in the hidden studio, David the locksmith noticed something odd about the modern hard drive. A small LED light on its side was blinking green, indicating it was still powered. He traced the cable to a battery backup system hidden beneath the floor, sophisticated enough to maintain charge for years through solar panels cleverly disguised in the mausoleum's decorative stonework above. Someone had designed this to last indefinitely. Marcus connected a laptop to the drive, and a screen filled with folders organized by year, each containing audio files. The most recent folder was dated June 24th, 2009, the day before Michael Jackson died. Inside was a single file named "If You're Hearing This." The room fell silent as Marcus clicked play. Michael's voice emerged from the speakers, clear and strong, without music, just him speaking directly into a microphone. "I don't know who will find this room or when they'll find it. Maybe nobody ever will, and that's okay too. But if someone's listening right now, I want you to know something. Everything in this room is my truth. Not the headlines, not the rumors, not what people decided I was. This is what I created when nobody was watching, when I was just Michael, not the icon." His voice continued for 20 minutes, explaining each section of the archive, what the songs meant, why he never released certain recordings. Some were too personal, raw expressions of pain he couldn't share publicly. Others were experiments that felt too vulnerable, too different from what fans expected. Then he said something that made everyone in the room stand frozen. "There's one more thing here, something I finished last week. It's the last song I'll ever complete. I can feel it. I'm tired, and I'm ready for whatever comes next. But I wanted to leave this behind, my final message. Play it after I'm gone, or don't play it at all. Either way, I'll finally be free." The estate representatives immediately understood the weight of what they'd discovered. The final recording alone could generate millions, but Michael's words complicated everything. He'd said, "Play it after I'm gone, or don't play it at all." The comma placement mattered. Was he giving permission or expressing indifference? Legal experts were summoned while the team carefully extracted the hard drive and journal. Sarah hadn't spoken for an hour, overwhelmed by the intimacy of what she'd heard. This wasn't just a celebrity's secret vault. It was a human being's soul laid bare. Marcus made a suggestion that surprised everyone. What if they honored Michael's clear desire for privacy by sealing the room again, leaving most of the archive untouched, but sharing just a final recording he'd specifically mentioned? The estate could establish a foundation using any proceeds, supporting causes Michael cared about: children's hospitals, music education, humanitarian work. The room itself could remain his private sanctuary, visited only by archivists who would preserve but not exploit what lay inside. The music would stay protected for future generations, released slowly, thoughtfully, with the respect it deserved. After weeks of debate, that's exactly what happened. The final recording was released as a single track, with all profits funding arts program for underprivileged youth. Critics called it his most honest work, a stripped-down piano ballad about finding peace after a lifetime of chaos. The room beneath the mausoleum was resealed with a new door, accessible only to appointed guardians who catalog and preserve the archive. Sarah Chen became one of those guardians, visiting monthly to check environmental controls and ensure everything remains intact. She sits down there sometimes during her shifts, surrounded by the legacy of a man who just wanted space to create without judgment. The world got one final gift from Michael Jackson, but the rest stays here in the silence, exactly as he intended. Some secrets aren't meant to be exposed completely. Some legacies are better honored by respecting the boundaries their creators established. In the darkness beneath Forest Lawn, the king of pop's true voice remained preserved, waiting patiently for a future that might understand what he was really trying to say all along.